I done beat a lot of stuff. No matter what they try to take away from me, I beat it. I beat it.
Boom. Right.
And I'm still trying to, push forward. When people say legacy, I feel like you gotta picture where I came from. I already done enough.
The mega fight, that dance with destiny, is nearly at hand. And with both superstars in the fine-tuning stage, secrecy is crucial. That's why Davis made sparring the most important element of any camp, off limits to cameras. But his team's visible confidence hints at his readiness.
Officially, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is 2 weeks away. Additionally, the energy is beginning to shift. This is becoming a full-on storm with each fresh video, leaked sparring anecdote, and picture from Tank's camp.
Many years ago, legendary champion Marvin Hagler remarked that it's hard to get up and do road work at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. In other words, when you're hungry, when you're chasing something, the grind comes naturally. But once you're comfortable, that fire can fade. Unless it was never about comfort in the first place.
The dude appears to be enormous. Gone is the lightweight frame. Tank's moving around with a hefty swagger from the fight week. His arms, shoulders, and chest all give the impression that he has been sparring with powerlifters rather than boxers. Through the screen, you can almost feel the force of those blows.
Gotta have confidence. The crowd, the hype. I don't know what type of person Frank are. I could tell body language. And I would see it. I would see it if he's nervous or anything like that inside the ring. If it do play a big part, I take advantage of it.
This is where things start to become twisted for everyone. We've seen this movie before, so don't take that mass for slowness. Do you recall Terrence Crawford? When he advanced, people said the same thing. He's too little. He will become slower. Canelo is too large. Then, like he had been there all his life, he entered with a sharper, bigger, and smoked Canelo. That is the following blueprint for Tank.
You gotta remember, you need a performance of your life. The whole world will be watching this like that.
Hold on, yeah.
Big stage, record audience, millions watching. For Tank, this is nothing new. But it's not exactly the same either, because he's never had such a treacherous opponent to prepare.
It's smart mass and regulated power, not just size. Jake Paul is not being outjogged by Gervonta. He's attempting to outdo him. Every extra pound appears deliberate. Every motion is still flawless. There are just 2 weeks remaining, and the message is plain. Tank isn't getting used to Jake's size. Tank is using that size as the subject of his upcoming highlight reel.
I don't want to lose. I hate losing. I know Tank hate losing. Lamont damn sure don't want to lose, so it's going to make for a good fight, man.
Not to mention Tank's insane training camp throughout that monstrous bulk up. Boom. David Bendes is about to take over with his cool, heavyweight reasoning that is nevertheless more powerful than a left hook. He says, yeah, I'm cool with Tank getting that bag, but man, I just want to see him fight Shakur, Haney, the real killers. And to be honest, I understand. Everyone does. Like fans anticipating an unreleased trilogy, we have been yearning for those classic battles.
I just want to see Tank fight Shakur Stevens, Devin Haney, all them fights, man. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's Tank, as a world champion first, he should give us those fights. Because those are the fights I want to see, not taking anything away from the fight with Jake Paul. I know it's going to be a big fight with big money.
However, Bendes also offers a cunning gem here. Even though it's not quite boxing script, he is aware that money fights clever business. The man essentially expressed what we're all considering. This time, skill is not the key. It's about size collapsing in real time and danger. And it's electric because of that. One of Mike Tyson's most devastating punchers is entering a circus performance that could easily become a crime scene. He's receiving $40 million, and people are still upset about it. No, let's be honest. You would also sign the contract if you were able to earn that much money before breakfast.
It's not really, it's competitive to the point where it's not really about the skill. It's about the size and the skill. You know what I mean? Because Tank is way smaller than Jake Paul, you know, but we know that if he lands a good shot, it could be over for Tank. But also, in my opinion, Jake Paul is so big that if he lands the right shot, maybe if he lands in the back of the head or in the side of the head, it might be over.
Abel Sanchez enters like the voice of old school truth, prepared to put a stop to all that contemporary craziness, just as Benz has ended his candid discussion about money versus legacy. Nothing was sugar-coated by my guy. As a coach, take the bag, son, he replied bluntly, but as a fan, I don't like the fight. That's frankness. I respect it, to be honest. Abel isn't discussing legacy. He is discussing lifespan. If you're going to punch for a living, at least make sure those punches pay your bills, he essentially said, glancing at Tank.
You know what, as a fight fan, I don't like the fight, but as a coach, I think it's a good move for Tank Davis. I mean, I've seen too many kids go out of this sport with not a cent in their pocket, and I think that if Tank Davis takes advantage of a big payday like that, I think it's a ridiculous fight as far as a fight fan, but as a coach, I understand it. You have to take care of your own.
There are many broke boxing legends with titles but no bank accounts, so those are facts. Tank convincing Jake Paul to pay him. But that's chess, not ducking. Competitors and generational riches are the two focuses of smart fighters. Abel then abandoned the old coach reasoning, though. Jake Paul is not a danger. Jake is just a YouTuber on his career day, bro. He nearly sounds like he's saying, yeah, he weighs 50 pounds, but Tank has been taking on giants since the playground.
In the street, that's who he was fighting. He was fighting bigger guys than him. He was always a smaller guy. So he knows how to fight those big guys. He knows how to duck up underneath and throw those looping shots because that's who he fought in the street. At least that's my opinion anyway. He's always been the little guy, and I'm sure that in the streets he wasn't a choir boy. I'm sure that he had his moments, and everybody was bigger than him. So he knows how to take care of himself. I don't think Jake Paul's
Abel's breakdown of it included loop shots, head movements, and that Street Fighter DNA. It was lyrical brutality masquerading as knowledge. His comparison of Jake to a man who would connect once if grandma had a mustache was the finest part. Pure gold. That is the epitome of old man boxing comedy. While watching the circus, Abel essentially gave Tank his roses. What do you know? He is correct, since we all know in our hearts that the 50-pound difference won't matter if Tank lands clean. Jake may be from Dreamland for his upcoming upload.
You know, like you're a bigger guy, you can take punches from a smaller guy, you know?
If grandma had a mustache.
That's not really your grandma.
Yeah. If Tank connects with the right hand, he's putting him out.
Yeah.
Just like he did Garcia.
I think that's what a lot of people are thinking, but
again, it's on the up and up.
Yeah.
So I keep saying, no, it's on the up and up. I hope it.
Following Abel Sanchez's icy blast of boxing realism, Michael J. White enters the fray like the sport's shrewd philosopher of smooth battles. The man is examining those odds as if he were examining a screenplay for a motion picture. Tank minus 175 and Jake plus 136. He is already referring to it as, yeah,
even
Tank's the guy.
surprised because honestly, how
However,
could you be? This
he says
isn't
it
just
with the
size
cool
versus
actor's
skill.
composure,
It's TikTok
as if
strength
he's not
versus
even
world-class
shocked.
timing.
After all, how could you be? It's not only a matter of skill versus size. It's world-class timing versus TikTok strength.
But the fact that Gervonta, I believe he spars people that are much heavier than him. And that upper.
Who do you got?
I would have to bet on Gervonta because for all the little things, all that, and the fact that he's not old.
Yeah.
I think he makes up for the weight situation. I don't know if a guy that size is going to be fast enough to catch Gervonta clean.
True.
Yeah.
But Gervonta might catch him.
Oh, he is going to catch him.
Michael understands. You can't pretend to have a high IQ. Tank has a generational target, but Jake may have YouTube power. The kind that, despite being 3 weight classes heavier, doesn't miss. You must adore Michael's spin on it. He says, yeah, Jake's fighting an actual champion this time. He's kindly reminding everyone that boxing isn't a secondary gig for content creators. When he talks about people fighting bears next, he hits us with that gem. To be honest, he's not mistaken. The sport is becoming a circus. However, Tank is going to show everyone what true brutality looks like, since you can chop down, bulk up, you can pray to the algorithm as much as you like. However, it won't feel like views when that left hand lands. It will feel like retaliation.
If it wasn't Gervonta Davis and somebody else in that weight category, yeah, it'd be ridiculous. But Gervonta, the technique-wise and heart-wise, it makes it interesting. Again, kudos goes to Jake Paul, because he's kind of worked his way up, even though the guy is so much smaller.
And just when we believed that Michael J. White's breakdown was the week's most shocking revelation, boxing chooses to surprise us with a full-length Hollywood follow-up. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather as well. We're actually going to stream this back on Netflix in 2026, man. Just now, Dana White slung his headset across the room. I mean, Floyd is getting close to 50. More retirements have been experienced by Manny than by Tom Brady. And yet here we are, discussing a rematch as if it were 2015 again. You can't lie, but it's insane. It has an iconic sense. A spark was needed in the sport, and two titans who shaped an era are the ideal people to provide that vintage spirit. Netflix chose the ideal formula if they were looking to disrupt the internet. Money, nostalgia, and a plot that essentially writes itself, isn't that right?
The announcement apparently in talks, in serious talks, sometime in 2026 on Netflix, Mayweather Pacquiao 2. And what Cobb said there, I agree with a lot of it. Number one, I agree that this, regardless of the skill level, regardless of the time out of the ring, regardless of all of that, this would still be a very sought after.
Because who still deserves to be in that ring after all these years is more important than who wins. To be honest, I'm watching it. You are observing it. Since this is more than simply a battle, we're all watching. It's a production budget of $1 billion laced with nostalgia and legacy. Yes, they are older now, but tell me you wouldn't watch to see which politician or businessman ages best. Floyd may still be able to avoid tax season with his cunning defense. And in the middle of a fight, Manny might just throw a combo quickly enough to relaunch his political career. Furthermore, I believe that Manny may now try harder to get the Wi-Fi password alone. However, underlying all of its kind of poetry, memes, and hype, two soldiers, too proud to fade in silence, take another step back under the dazzling lights. Everyone secretly wished for this last chapter, but nobody anticipated it. And you're most likely watching the wrong sport if that doesn't make you feel better.
46-year-old Manny came out of retirement after 3 years and went toe-to-toe and arguably beat Mario Barrios. Let's be honest, that's probably more of an indictment on the sport than this fight would ever be, but you're still going to get that feel of like, oh man, here come the novelty act fights. All right, this is what we're doing. I don't necessarily feel that way. You're going to get that feel with a lot of the hardcore boxing fans, but just like a Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, just like a Gervonta Tank Davis, Jake Paul, just like a Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul, you're going to get more of an attention outside of your hardcore fan base from casual audiences to watch a fight like this.
Now, 2 weeks before the bout, it feels more like a cultural earthquake waiting to happen than a boxing match. You have Jake Paul, the internet tycoon and boxing glove, and Gervonta Davis, the small destroyer constructed like a coil spring of TNT. Despite the fact that they shouldn't have met, two worlds make perfect sense. There is pure adrenaline in every statement, leak, and training video. And it's obvious that this is more than just buzz when industry titans like Michael J. White, Abel Sanchez, and Benz all weigh in. In real time, history is being written. This is one of the few times when the sport feels alive, regardless of whether you support the fighter or the company, the traditional approach or the algorithm.
You're talking about pound for pound, number one, number two greatest all time in those weight divisions. I mean, you can argue for the heavier guys. I'm just saying, these are two of the greatest, and if they want to do it, even in their old age, I wouldn't recommend it. But then again, Manny just fought a world championship fight and looked okay compared to what he was in there with. So I don't mind it. I will watch this. I will break it down.
I'll toss it to you now. Who is being humbled and who is leaving with the ability to brag? Will Jake Paul surprise the purists once more? Or is Tank going to put an end to the circus? Post your opinions in the comments section. Let's have a discussion. Additionally, remember to subscribe, like, and share Boxing Short. See you at the following one.